I feel like when we hear the term spiritual awakening a lot, we think of like, oh, now I can talk to spiritual entities. Now I can talk to angels. I could talk to aliens. I've honed in my psychic abilities. I've been experimenting with the supernatural. But I don't think that's the most potent form of spiritual awakening. And in fact, I think a lot of people get lost in the sauce in terms of like their own awakening, their own sense of purpose. I hear oftentimes in the spiritual community, you know, this matrix, this world is lying to us because they don't want us to know the truth, and then they substitute the truth with a whole other narrative or a whole other like world that is built up. You know, they talk about spiritual warfare, they talk about, I don't know, intergalactic drama, which, like, I'm not invalidating and I'm not discrediting because those things absolutely could be real. In fact, I see a lot of, like, symbolism in that and how that can really give a little bit more perspective to what is happening here on Earth. However, calling one thing a lie and the other thing a truth, or calling one narrative a lie and calling the other narrative truth, like, the only truth is you, and what you say goes, and what, I don't want to say what you believe in, but what the only truth is you, is it's the I am, and it's the present moment. And there's just so much, I guess, like, ungroundedness in the spiritual community of like, oh, I've finally uncovered the secrets of the world, only to fall into another trap, to fall into another matrix within the matrix of, oh yes, this is the answer. Okay, what now? So what? And so I just think it's really important to remember that, like, you are always in the present moment, and you are awareness itself. And who you choose to be, whatever character you choose, will still only be a fraction of what you are. Whether that be somebody who was ingrained in, I guess, the Matrix programming, or somebody who has left that and entered a new Matrix, that character is also still a fraction of who you are as awareness. Because we are all source. It is our awareness that is source, that is God, that is divinity. Everything else is just a child of that. It is a fraction of that. It is a offspring of our awareness. And this goes, I'm quite literally saying, like, everything. Every character, every belief, every emotion, every thought, every experience. It is just a fraction of what awareness is, of what God is, of what the universe is. Anyway, I think that's kind of the gist of this. I guess I wanted to talk about this because being, myself getting into this content creation, I often have this thought or like this belief of like, oh, I don't know enough, or I haven't experimented enough with like psychic abilities, remote viewing, astral projection. I haven't like done enough to be valid in my content creation, which is ridiculous as I say it. However, that is a belief that does feel really real, and I'm saying this to remind myself and to remind whoever is watching that enlightenment does not come from any external validation, whether that be in the Matrix, whether that be in the spiritual community, whether that be literally anything outside of yourself as awareness. Anyway, that's it. Okay, thanks for listening.